This is the IUX Education Podcast, your shortcut to smarter trading and investing.
Where complex markets become simple. Let's dive in.
Welcome everyone to the Deep Dive. This is brought to you by IUX Education. We are really glad you could join us today.
Great to be diving in.
Yeah, definitely. So today we're tackling a really big question, one that honestly you hear debated all the time on trading floors, online forums, everywhere really. Is risk management actually more important than strategy?
The classic. It really is, isn't it? And it's not just, theory.
No.
Every single trader, whether you're just starting out or you've been doing this for years, you kind of wrestle with this. So our mission today, let's try and cut through some of that noise.
Yeah, let's simplify.
Exactly. We'll pull out the key insights from the material we've looked at and hopefully help you get some real clarity on, what really matters here.
Absolutely. We're going to look at the arguments for both sides, why each one is considered so vital. And then this is where it gets really interesting. I think we'll look at how they actually work together, their true relationship.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, then, let's unpack this. Elates. The case for strategy. The engine of your trading. Right, so let's start with strategy. Making the case for strategy first.
Okay.
For most people, this is like their rule book, isn't it? The roadmap for how you actually engage with the market.
Yeah, your plan of attack.
Exactly. It tells you when to get in, when to get out, how you spot those potential opportunities in the first place. I mean, think about it. What would trading even be without a strategy?
Chaos.
Pretty much. You'd just be, well, guessing, right? Throwing darts.
You'd be completely adrift. Yeah, no compass. Without some kind of defined strategy, you're not really trading with calculated risk. You are essentially just gambling.
Right.
And the interesting thing is, a good strategy, and that could be based on, technicals, price action, fundamentals, whatever your flavor is, that's what gives you your edge.
Yeah.
Your potential advantage. It's how you try and tilt the probabilities just slightly in your favor.
That edge concept is key.
It is. Because, look, even if you were the world's best risk manager, perfect capital preservation.
Okay.
If your actual method for picking trades consistently loses money, well, your capital is still going down.
Slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely. It's a guaranteed decline, even if it takes a while. There's no way around that. And there's another piece to this. Strategy gives you structure. Which is absolutely vital. It's the framework that helps take the emotion, the guesswork out of your decisions.
The emotional side. Yeah.
It gives you clear signals. Okay, now might be a time to consider buying. Or here's a potential sell signal. And importantly, why?
Based on your rules.
Based on your predefined rules. And that structure, it's essential for being consistent and also for actually measuring how you're doing over time.
How can you know if you're improving if you don't have a consistent method?
Exactly. Without a method, like a blueprint for finding potential profits, well, there's nothing to manage the risk on.
Okay, that makes sense.
You could say it's the engine. It's what propels you forward.
I like that analogy, the engine moving you forward. It really highlights that you need something to, initiate the action, a plan.
A plan to potentially make money.
Right. It gives you that forward motion, that proactive stance in the market, not just reacting.
Precisely. 2, the case for risk management, the shield that keeps you in the game.
Okay, so that's a strong case for strategy. But now let's flip the coin. Let's talk about risk management.
The other titan.
Exactly. This is the one often hailed as like the most critical piece.
You hear that a lot from experienced traders, yeah.
Definitely. It's all about defining how much capital you risk per trade, using things like stop losses effectively, managing your overall exposure. You constantly hear veterans saying this is the number one thing. But why? What's the core argument?
It boils down to something incredibly simple yet profound. The absolute number one rule in trading.
Don't blow up your account.
Don't lose all your money. Exactly. You can't play the game if you don't have any chips left.
Simple as that?
Simple as that. Let's take a really extreme example just to illustrate.
Okay.
Imagine you have this genius strategy. Wins 90% of the time. Sounds amazing, right?
Like the Holy Grail.
Seems like it. But if you completely neglect risk management on that 10% of trades that do lose, and just one of those losses gets completely out of control, becomes a massive drawdown, it can wipe you out completely. One bad trade can undo hundreds of good ones if the risk isn't contained.
Wow.
So risk management, think of it as your shield. It protects your capital. It ensures you survive to trade another day.
Survival, that's the word you hear constantly.
Because you will have losing trades. You will have losing streak. Everyone does. Risk management is what lets you weather those storms.
Yeah.
And there's a huge psychological component here, too.
Ah, yes. The mental game.
Absolutely critical, knowing before you even click the button what your maximum possible loss is on that specific trade.
Yeah.
That's incredibly powerful for your mindset.
Takes the fear down a notch.
Hugely. It helps prevent panic selling when the market gets choppy. It stops you from revenge trading after a loss because you know the loss was contained part of the plan. It helps you avoid those impulsive emotional decisions that wreck accounts.
So things like the 1% or 2% rule?
Exactly. Tools like the 1-2% rule, risking only a tiny fraction of your total account on any single trade, they're fundamental.
Why that specific percentage, roughly?
It's about keeping losses small and manageable. Think about the math. A 1% loss, you need just over a 1% gain to get back to even. Annoying, but manageable.
Okay.
A 50% loss, you get a 100% gain just to break even.
Oof. That's a steep climb.
It's brutal. That's the devastating power of compounding losses. Good risk management protect you from ever getting into that kind of hole. It's absolutely crucial for keeping a clear head, staying focused, staying calm. And here's a really strong statement you often hear. You can actually survive, maybe not thrive, but survive with a mediocre strategy if your risk management is excellent.
Right. You won't make much, maybe, but you won't blow up.
Exactly. But you absolutely cannot survive long-term with even a brilliant strategy if your risk management is poor or non-existent.
The market will find that weakness.
Eventually. It always does.
Wow. Okay. Those arguments for risk management, especially framed around survival and psychological stability, they are really, really powerful.
They are.
It almost feels like, okay, maybe risk management is the winner here. It makes such a compelling case for just staying alive in the market.
It certainly makes you think hard about priorities.
So the question is still there. Which one truly wins, strategy or risk management? 3, the verdict, two sides of the same coin. Okay, so we've got strategy, our engine, gives us direction, our potential edge, and then risk management, the shield.
Yeah.
Protects our capital, protects our sanity.
Mm-hmm.
So which one is more important?
Well, here's the twist, or maybe the clarification.
Okay.
It's actually kind of a false debate.
A false debate. How so?
Because it's not really about one being more important than the other. They are completely interdependent. You need both.
Ah, okay. Like asking.
Like asking if the engine in your car is more important than the brakes.
Huh. Right. You need the engine to go anywhere.
And you absolutely need the brakes to not crash. You need both to get to your destination safely and preferably in one piece.
Okay, I see. So they're not competing, they're complementing each other.
Precisely. There are two essential parts of the same system, the system being successful trading. They perform different but equally vital roles. Think of it like this. Strategy finds the potential profit. It identifies those moments, those setups, where the odds might be slightly in your favor.
Okay, the opportunity finder.
Right. Risk management protects your existing capital, the money you already have.
The capital protector.
Exactly. Or another way, strategy tells you where you might want to go in the market. Risk management ensures you actually get there without blowing up your account.
Without crashing the car.
Without crashing the car. They don't compete. They work together. They're synergistic. Think about how it works in practice. Your strategy flags a potential setup, a breakout maybe.
Right.
That's the strategy part. But instantly, your risk management rules should kick in.
Okay, what do they do?
They tell you, okay, based on this setup and my account size, here's how much I can risk my position size. Maybe it's that 1% or 2%. They also tell you, and here's where my stop loss needs to go, defining your maximum loss before you enter.
So it's all integrated. Strategy defines the what, risk management defines the how much, and where's the exit if wrong.
Perfectly put. They're seamlessly integrated in the process of a disciplined trader.
Yeah.
One enables the other. You can have the most amazing strategy, finds incredible entries, but if you bet the farm on one trade and it goes wrong, you're out.
Gone.
And you can manage risk like a hawk, never losing more than 0.5% per trade. But if you have no strategy, no edge, you'll just slowly bleed out from commissions and small losses.
Yeah.
Death by 1,000 cuts.
Right. So neither works in isolation.
Not for long-term success, no.
Okay.
The real path, the sustainable path in trading. It isn't about finding some magic secret, never loses strategy. That doesn't exist.
If only.
Right. It's about becoming a disciplined manager of risk, applying those solid risk management principles consistently unwaveringly to a strategy that has a positive expectancy over time on every single trade. No exceptions.
That really shifts the perspective. It's not strategy versus risk management. It's strategy and risk management working together. Discipline is the glue.
That's a great way to put it. The discipline ties it all together.
The risk management actually gives your strategy the chance to work over the long haul, right? It lets it breathe through the losses.
Exactly. It allows the edge to play out over a large sample size of trades.
So, okay, what does this actually mean for you listening right now? Outro. Well, I think the big takeaway from our deep dive today is pretty clear, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Strategy and risk management, they're an inseparable pair. You absolutely need both.
Two sides of the same coin.
You need that engine, the strategy, to find opportunities and move forward. And you absolutely need that shield risk management to protect your capital, protect your mindset, and make sure you stay in the game.
Especially when things get tough, which they inevitably will.
Definitely. So we really encourage you, maybe after listening, just take a moment. Think about your own trading. How are you applying both of these? Are they working together? Are they in balance?
That self-assessment is crucial. And, speaking of managing losses and learning, that brings up an interesting thought to maybe ponder after this deep dive.
Oh, go on.
What does your first really significant losing trade, what does that truly teach you?
Ooh, that's a deep one. Your first big hit.
Yeah.
That often sticks with people.
It's often a real turning point, for better or worse. Something to think about.
Absolutely. What a great question to leave everyone with. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive today. We really hope this cleared up some of the fog around strategy versus risk management.
Hope it was helpful.
We hope you see them now as vital partners. And if you want to dive deeper into this or, explore other trading topics, please do check out IUX Education.
Yeah, lots more resources there.
We've got loads of learning materials, articles, and of course, more deep dives like this one, all designed for traders at every level. So until next time, stay curious, stay disciplined.
And manage that risk.
Absolutely. Happy trading, everyone. We'll see you then.
And this is the IUX Education Podcast, where trading confidence begins.
That's a wrap for today. This episode was brought to you by IUX Trading Platform, your trusted partner for smarter investing.